Tonight, we're continuing coverage on the investigation involving Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Mike Foley and Municipal Judge James Purges. The state auditor's office says it uncovered alleged improper political and other activities involving public resources.
Yeah, they're both now facing numerous felony counts. Kasha Hancock live now outside the courthouse spoke with a legal expert to better understand these charges. Kasha.
Yeah, Adam, Lydia, the first one, Foley is facing one count of attempted unlawful arrest in a public contract, while Purges is facing 3 counts of this. I spoke with the University of Dayton professor to better understand all of these allegations.
Say that I'm the clerk of courts and I want to buy new computers. I cannot personally cut a deal with Dell Computers to buy computers for the county.
Tom Hagel, law professor at the University of Dayton, explaining how a person can be charged with unlawful interest in a public contract.
It could be taking money from a budget or money coming into the office and keeping it as their own. I mean, the theft could deal with money, it could deal with property. It could be committed a number of different ways.
That's one of the charges Montgomery County Clerk of Court Mike Foley is facing tonight. A grand jury also handing down several indictments against Montgomery County Municipal Court Judge James Purges. Foley is also facing 1 count of theft in office and solicitation of political contributions from public employees.
Let's say you're the clerk of court. You cannot go around and ask your employees who are public employees for political contributions to your campaign. That's against the law.
Hagel also explains what the next steps in this investigation could be.
As for both of them, these cases could be turned over to the county prosecutor's office, that they could investigate the criminal aspects. But the other thing is, for a judge, he can be put before a disciplinary committee as he violated the code of judicial conduct.
We've learned that both arraignments for Foley and Purges are scheduled for August 15th, and we will, of course, keep you updated. Back to you.
Kasha, thank you. We also have
And the results of the internal investigation to be released.
Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, what are you trying to hide? Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, how long is it going to take?
He is innocent. Kobe did nothing wrong that day, right? Not one person from Montgomery County has ever said anything to these people. Didn't even come to say he passed away.
The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says they are not commenting on this since the attorneys are claiming to file suit.
2 kids hurt after a crash involving a YMCA of Greater Dayton bus and a van in Preble County. Happened on Wayne Trace Road this morning. The road was closed for a bit but is back open. We're told 10 other kids were on that bus.
Initial investigation shows that the van failed to yield to the bus who was traveling northbound on State Route 122. The bus struck the van.
Now, the driver of that van was not hurt. The crash is still under investigation. We're working to learn how badly the kids were hurt. We'll bring you updates here on air and online.
1 person is dead tonight after a crash in Preble County. It happened south of Camden College Corner Road on US 127 around 3:45 this morning. The Preble County Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Taylor Hicks of Oxford was traveling southbound when her car drove left of center and hit a semi. Hicks was ejected from her car and was later pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi was not hurt. Investigators are working to determine if alcohol was a factor in the crash.
The Dayton Police Department needs your help tonight in the investigation of a deadly shooting over the weekend. 33-year-old Morale Fontenot was shot and killed last Sunday at just after midnight. Police say a man approached Fontenot on the sidewalk near the Arby's there, shot him, several times before leaving.
We do know that there were several cars, especially one that was like right there in front of RV Sunday morning when the shooting occurred. There's no way they did not actually hear these shots being fired, so we are asking for the community's help in trying to locate an actual suspect in this case.
And this is how you can help. If you got any information, you're asked to contact Dayton Police or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at the number you see there on your screen.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty nice day, a hot summer-like day, but the storm stayed just south of our region. Saw some cloud cover, a couple of showers around. I was at the Greene County Fair, and the cloud cover actually made it feel pretty nice out there. But as far as what we're expecting overnight, fairly quiet conditions until tomorrow. Our next weather maker will approach us, bringing the potential for some strong to severe storms. So you could actually see storms firing up in Iowa right now. Eventually, we'll be seeing storms riding around this ridge again, just like today, and bringing us the potential for a few of those to be on the strong side tomorrow, with a level 2 threat for severe storms for the majority of the area. So any storm that develops will have the potential to perhaps produce some damaging wind gusts and some heavy rainfall, of course, some lightning. So we'll monitor that closely. Otherwise, 70s out there right now. Dew points in the 70s too. It is very sticky out there. We'll drop to around 72 overnight.
A new rule for Dayton housing could help renters with past evictions get a fresh start. What city leaders are hoping this will provide for those struggling with housing.
Plus, I'm tracking the risk for strong to severe storms as we head into the end of this week. I'll time it all out for you coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Home and Mercer.
Dayton Municipal Court judges, they're trying to help renters who have been evicted have a cleaner slate. New rule just got into effect as evictions post-COVID are on the rise. Jenny Borg was at the court earlier today and explains what that rule will do.
This new rule allows people who are evicted in the city of Dayton to apply to have their eviction sealed so it doesn't show up in any searches when they're looking for new housing. Marty Garris, Dayton's clerk of court, explains how damaging an eviction can be.
An eviction on a record can make it extremely difficult to secure safe and affordable housing.
The Dayton Municipal Clerk of Court, Marty Garris, announced a new rule Wednesday to help renters who have been evicted in Dayton. People evicted in city limits can now apply for their eviction record to be sealed, so it will not show up on any searches that new potential landlords might do. Garris explains why this is needed after approximately 3,000 evictions were filed in the city last year.
Even tenants who have resolved or won their case may experience long-term impacts from an eviction filing. This new rule will help ensure that past mistakes or emergencies do not become a scarlet E that follows tenants around for their lives, leading to housing instability.
Garris says evictions have been rising since COVID pandemic relief ended and renters deserve a fresh start. People can go through an application process. There will be a hearing before a judge where the landlord can argue against the sealing of the record. Then the judge will make a final decision, but there's a catch.
There is one specific rule that if you have an eviction in the past 3 years, there's going to be a look-back period, and that will prevent you.
Even though evictions are thought of as being cut and dry when a person violates their lease agreement, certain situations between renters and landlords can become complex. One avenue people can take is to put their rent money in escrow through the court until the situation is fixed. I spoke to one renter who was just evicted. She tried to go through that process but says it's difficult. When I asked Garris about it, he said it's complicated and most people don't understand the right way to do it.
They told me, like, if you put the money in escrow, if the landlord won't get it unless she fixed the problem. But somehow, some way, I have missed though.
Usually when people think they're putting their money into escrow, what is actually happening is they stop paying rent. Whether or not the landlord makes a repair or not, you're still legally required to pay your rent.
Since this rule only applies to evictions in Dayton, Garris is urging other area courts to adopt a similar rule and says the State House needs to take action to ensure renters across the state can get a fresh start. Back to you.
Well, it was a hot one today, climbing close to 90 degrees. 89 was our official high in Dayton. 73 was our low, still above our normals of 85 and 66. But good news about that 85-degree normal, it's actually lower today. All month of July, it sits at 86 with the exception of the last day. It has dropped to 85 degrees and our average high is going to continue to fall, of course, as we head closer to fall. July has been a pretty typical month overall. In fact, a lot of below normal days sprinkled in, a couple of above normal days too, but it's going to be a hot one again as we start off the month of August, as well as a chance for some showers and storms. By the afternoon, could potentially see a few strong to severe storms firing up across the area for our Thursday. So just have a way to get those weather alerts with another round of scattered rain and storms continuing into our Friday as well.
Governor Mike DeWine and Lieutenant Governor John Husted announcing today Ohio driver's licenses and IDs can now be added to your Apple Wallet. Ohioans can now use their iPhone to show identification for select businesses, apps, and at TSA security checkpoints. Also launching today, a free age verification app for businesses, enabling them to securely and privately accept customers' licenses and ID cards in person. Just search for Ohio Mobile ID Check in the App Store. Now, DeWine expressing how proud he is of today's announcement, saying in part, quote, Ohio has always been a leader in innovation, and now we are the 5th state in the country that gives residents the option to securely add their driver's license to Apple Wallet. This is another example of how Ohio is using technology to better serve its customers and residents.
Former President Donald Trump taking part in a Q&A session at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. The former president said earlier today he wasn't sure of Vice President Kamala Harris's heritage until a few years ago. At one point, Trump was asked why black voters should pick him with his history of attacking his political rivals. He responded by questioning Harris's heritage.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear.
Harris's father is Jamaican and her mother was Indian, both of which immigrated to the U.S. Harris herself was born in California and is the first black and Asian American vice president in our nation's history. The United Auto Workers Labor Union announcing today they're endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president. The endorsement was expected as the UAW president has been an outspoken critic of her opponent. The car workers are the latest in a number of unions to endorse Harris as her campaign seeks to find support in blue-collar workers in Midwestern swing states.
All right, let's give you a live look from our Eco Plumber Sky Cam over Beaver Creek tonight. If you didn't already know, if you step outside tonight, we're out on our Watson's Weather patio. It is quite humid. Might break out a sweat a little bit, yeah.
Just a little sticky out here. It was hot earlier today, and we're going to continue really with the heat as we head through this week as well. So here's a look at our Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook for our day tomorrow. We do have a level 2 threat for severe storms for the entirety of the Miami Valley. So definitely going to be monitoring for the potential for some of those storms to be strong to severe tomorrow. And then for our Thursday as well, we're also tracking the risk for a few stronger to severe storms. It's a low-end risk, or for our Friday, excuse me, it's a low-end risk. We will see the potential for perhaps a stronger storm developing across the area, so we'll be monitoring that closely. But otherwise, scattered rain and storms continuing as we head into these next several days.
AES Ohio and the United Way celebrating the 110-year partnership. Why AES says it's important to support the vital programs of the United Way. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News with
AES Ohio celebrating their centuries-long partnership with the United Way of Greater Dayton. So the two are hosting a campaign now until Friday. Includes several fun activities like dunk tanks, food trucks, a car show, and more. AES has given nearly $8.8 million to United Way since '95. The company says supporting the vital programs of the United Way will also help support our communities.
We recognize the importance of, supporting the issues in the community that are important to help, end the cycle of poverty and empower people to gain the skills to be able to work in our workforce and, live in our communities.
AES has supported the United Way for more than 100 years. Well, kids need the right tools during the school day to focus on learning and set them up for success. So we are partnering with Crayons to Classrooms and McDonald's all next week for the Back to School Basics Supply Drive. You can help provide school supplies for local kids as they go back to class. Just bring your donation of new supplies to any area McDonald's to help kids right here in the Miami Valley all next week.
For the first time since the pandemic, the Rockin' Green Tomato Festival is coming to downtown Miamisburg's new Riverfront Park this Friday and Saturday. It's to highlight local businesses in a family-friendly way. The event is bringing food and alcohol, retail vendors, plus live music. And on Saturday, there's also a free kids zone, petting zoo, a cornhole tournament, hula hoop contest, and fireworks at night. We'll be there to get into all the fun, so come join us from 5 to 10 p.m. Friday and noon to 10 p.m. Saturday.
And the first 3 episodes of our latest crime podcast are out right now. You can scan the QR code on your screen to download or just search for Missing Nikki McCowan in Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast platform you use. Make sure you subscribe too so you always know when a new episode is available.
The Cincinnati Reds with a chance to sweep the Chicago Cubs, but the visitors winning in a big way on Wednesday. Plus, how will the Dayton Dragons fare in an afternoon game on the road? You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Summer's heating up at Zumbizi Bay.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good evening, I'm Matt Digby. This is the Bob's Discount Furniture Sports Desk. Major League Baseball's trade deadline is in the rearview mirror. The Cincinnati Reds not receiving the best grades, but not the worst. Meanwhile, they had a chance to sweep the Cubs at the end of July, and this is after having started the month by sweeping the Yankees in the Bronx. However, the bid for a sweep Wednesday going in the opposite direction. Cubs scoring twice in the second, 4 runs in the third, going on to win 13-4. Jake Fraley did hit a 3-run home run, while Will Benson also brought in a run Tough day on the mound for Nick Lodolo, but he did pitch into the 6th inning.